Good morning, students. Welcome back to another session for the lesson Friendship and Duty. Students, in the last session, we started the story after 20 years. On a deep-peopled street, a policeman was patrolling impressively. He came across a man leaning at a darkened hardware store. When he went near, the man told policeman that he was waiting for his best friend Jimmy Wells, with whom he made the appointment 20 years back. And he was very much sure that if Jimmy was alive, he would come to fulfill the appointment that day. Now, the policeman, after having this talk, left. Then, after what happens? Let's see. There was now a fine cold drizzle falling, and the wind had risen from its uncertain puffs into a steady blow. The few pedestrians in the neighborhood hurried dismally and silently along with the coat collars turned high and pocketed hands. There was now a fine cold drizzle falling. Drizzle is light rain. So now there was cold light rain falling, and the wind had risen from its uncertain puffs into a steady blow. Puff means to blow in short gusts. As it was mentioned earlier, we know that the weather was not so usual, but now these puffs turned into the steady blow of wind. The few pedestrians in the neighborhood means few people nearby who were walking and not traveling by vehicle hurried dismally and silently. Why they hurried dismally? Dismally is in a depressing manner because the weather had become so cold, so they hurried silently, along with coat collars turned high and pocketed hands, so as to save themselves from cold. And in the door of the hardware store, the man who had come 1,000 miles to fill an appointment with the friend of his youth smoked his cigar and waited. As we all know that the man was waiting for his childhood friend Jimmy Wells was still waiting at the hardware store. About 20 minutes he waited, and then a tall man in a long overcoat with collar turned up to his ears hurried across from the opposite side of the street. He came directly to the waiting man. "Is that you, Bob?" he asked doubtfully. "Is that you, Jimmy Wells?" cried the man in the door. After 20 minutes, a tall man in long overcoat with collar turned up to his ears hurriedly came directly to the waiting man and asked doubtfully, "Is that you, Bob?" because he wanted to confirm. On the other hand, the man who was waiting at the hardware store cried with excitement, "Is that you, Jimmy Wells?" Students, it's now that we come to know that the name of the person waiting is Bob. "Bless my heart!" exclaimed the new arrival, grasping both the other's hands with his own. "It's Bob, sure as fate. I was certain I would find you here if you were still in existence." "Well, well, well, 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant's gone. Bob, I wish it had lasted so we could have had another dinner there. How has the West treated you, old man?" "Bless my heart!" exclaimed the new arrival. Who was the new arrival? The man in the long overcoat, grasping both the other's hands, both Bob's hands with his own hands. "It's Bob, sure as fate." He believed it was his fortune that he could meet Bob. He was also certain, he was sure that if Bob was in existence, that means if he was alive, he'll be able to meet him. Well, 20 years is a long time. The new arrival, the man in the long overcoat, said, and he also said that the old restaurant was not there, otherwise, they could have had another dinner there. So he wished it had lasted, that means it remained. He asked Bob, "How has the West treated you, old man?" So he wanted to know what all Bob did for those 20 years. And he said, "Old man," because they met after 20 years. "It has given me everything I asked it for. You have changed lots, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall by 2 or 3 inches. Oh, I grew a bit after I was 20. Bob replied that he achieved whatever he thought while being in West. He found Jimmy changed and noticed that he was tall by 2 or 3 inches. Jimmy replied that yes, he grew a bit after he was 20. "Doing well in New York, Jimmy?" "Moderately. I have a position in one of the city departments. Come on, Bob. We'll go around to a place I know of and have a good long talk about old times." Bob asked the man in the long coat if he did well in New York. And the man replied, "Moderately." That means within proper limits, not extremely more or less. And he said that he has a position in one of the city departments. That means he worked for one of the city departments. And he offered Bob to go around a place that he knew and talk about their old times. The two men started up the street arm in arm. One, his egoism enlarged by success, was beginning to outline the history of his career. The other, submerged in his overcoat, listened with interest. Both of them started walking on the street arm in arm, means holding their hands. One, his egoism enlarged by success. Who is this one? Bob, who has got ego because of the success in his career that he got, was beginning to outline the history of his career. So he was going to tell about his career to Jimmy. The other, submerged in his overcoat, listened with interest. Submerged in the overcoat means completely covered. So he tried to kind of cover himself in the overcoat. At the corner stood a drugstore, brilliant with electric lights. When they came into the glare, each of them turned simultaneously to gaze upon the other's face. The man from the west stopped suddenly and released his arm. While walking arm in arm, these two came near a drugstore. Drugstore is like medical shop, which was brilliant with lights. So, in the light, both of them turned simultaneously, that is, at a time, to gaze upon others' face, to see each other's face, because they were seeing each other after 20 years. The man from the west, Bob, stopped suddenly and released his arm. "You are not Jimmy Wells," he snapped. 20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change a man's nose from a Roman to a pug. As soon as Bob saw the face of the man in the long overcoat in the lights of the drugstore, he realized that he was not Jimmy Wells. he uttered with shock because the man in the long overcoat had a pug nose, whereas Jimmy Wells had a Roman nose, and the time period of even 20 years cannot change a man's nose. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. You have been under arrest for 10 minutes, Silky Bob. Going quietly, are you? That's sensible. Now, before we go to the station, here's a note I was asked to hand you. You may read it here at the window. It's from Patrolman Wells. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. The tall man meant that Bob has turned into a bad man from a good man before 20 years. And he said that Bob was under arrest and advised him to cooperate and go quietly to the police station. Now, before going to the police station, the tall man handed Bob a note and asked him to read at the window because it was bright enough to read there. He said the note was from Patrolman Wells. The man from the west unfolded the little piece of paper handed over to him. His hand was steady when he began to read, but it trembled a little by the time he had finished. The note was rather short. Now let's see what was there in that little piece of paper that Bob's hand started trembling after reading it. Bob, I was at the appointed place on time. When you struck the match to light your cigar, I saw it was the face of the man wanted in Chicago. Somehow, I couldn't do it myself, so I went around and got a plain clothes man to do the job. Jimmy. So, the note was from Jimmy Wells. The patrolman who met Bob earlier was Jimmy Wells. But when he lit his cigar, Jimmy saw his face and recognized him as a wanted in Chicago. As a policeman, his duty was to arrest him, but it was his friend, so he couldn't do the job. So he went and sent this plainclothes man, a policeman without uniform, to do the job, that means to arrest him. So students, what a twist in the story. We never knew that the policeman was Jimmy Wells. It shows how dutiful as well as sensitive Jimmy Wells was. Before doing this activity, let's understand what is a syllable. A syllable is a unit of pronunciation having one vowel sound. So, such syllable or syllables make words. Let's understand words that have one syllable. Come. You will see there are two vowels, but these two vowels create one vowel sound, so it is one syllable. Slip. Only one vowel sound. It is one syllable. Crop. Again, O is vowel. Only one vowel and one vowel sound. It is one syllable. Deck. Who. These are the words having one syllable. Now let's see the words that have two syllables. Perfect. Per and fect. These are the two syllables having two different vowels. Morning. Again, two syllables having two different vowels, O and I, with different sound. Exclaim. Again, two syllables because there are two sounds of vowel. First one is E and second one is AI, which has one sound. Now let's understand words that have more than one syllable. Together and investigate. As you can see, together has 3 syllables and investigate has 4 syllables. Now students, this is your homework. Listen to these words carefully and write the number of syllables you hear. And the solution for this you will get in the textual solution part. Now students, let's solve another activity. Write the following sentences in indirect speech. Instead of the given reporting verb, use an appropriate word from those given below. Now students, you know, when we change a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, we change the reporting verb accordingly. Or sometimes we add the expression with the reporting verb. So these are few words that you will have to use in our exercise. Let's understand. When somebody says something with enthusiasm, we can add this in the indirect speech. When a person says something with confidence, we can add confidently. When somebody in pride praises himself, it is called boasting. When a person is in shock and utters something impatiently, it is called snapped. When a person says something sarcastically, his meaning is completely opposite. And to bid means to give greetings to someone. Now let's use these expressions in the exercise. For example, let's understand the first sentence of the exercise. You are not Jimmy Wells, Bob said. Bob was in shock as he recognized the man. So we can say that he snapped. So we will use reporting verb snapped. Now, in direct speech, the sentence is written in inverted commas, which we will have to remove and join using conjunction that, as it is a statement. If it is a question, then if, whether or WH words are used to join. Reporting verb is in past tense. So we have changed the tense in indirect speech also. Are has become was. You is Jimmy Wells. So in indirect speech, pronoun is changed to he. Now based on the explanation, change the following sentences into indirect speech, and the solution you will get in the textual solution. So students, that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this interesting story, and don't forget, stay home, stay safe and stay healthy.